All right, we've got a series coming up with two teams who are looking for a win. This is their last chance this week to get a win, or else they're going to be ending not the best records, either of them really. I'm your host, Katie Bedford, joined by Nameless, Study, and Pac-Man. And again, this is going to be Elevate versus Envy. And Elevate did have a really good week last week. They went 3-0, and this week they're 0-3. So that momentum, that build-up, that steam has kind of been evaporated, if you will. And Nameless, how do you feel about them coming into this series? Because neither of these teams is too hot right now.
Well, first off, I want to say somebody is screaming on the stage. Is that Envy or is that Elevate? Doesn't look like it's Elevate.
It's definitely Elevate.
I think it might be Envy.
That was just laughing, but someone's shrieking.
Yeah, somebody is screaming. Either way, Elevate got destroyed yesterday. Like the fastest series I think I've seen all year.
Annihilated.
I think it was the fastest series I've seen all year. So, you know, it's them when they start to lose matches and they don't have that fire and that momentum, you can see what can happen. It's resulted in them being 0-3. And I know that they have had tougher competition this week. They've had a United. They've had 100 Thieves. And now they have Envy. So this is one of their easier matches. Like, they need to get a win. They absolutely need to get a win. And, you know, Skies has been playing fine, but the rest of the guys they've taken a dip in the statistics this week. So you need to have consistent performances out of this entire roster.
It's Brezzy, to me, like, so we were giving them such big props last week against those teams. And in order to be a superstar in this league, you got to step up against the top-tier opponents. It's not that he's been playing poorly at all. He hasn't. But he hasn't been doing the things that he was doing last week. He hasn't been giving superstar performances. He's been playing pretty good. And when you're on this team, your two superstars have to perform.
Every map.
Every single map, every single respawn against the top teams, and they're not doing it together. And it results in things that we saw yesterday against 100 Thieves.
Well, I mean, so that first map versus 100 Thieves, they were fine. They were up like 10 points. They had a setup, and, you know, Whalers doesn't watch the front door for 1 second. They get broken, and 100 Thieves go on a 100-point, you know, spread right there to close the game out. So, you know, it's just these little mistakes that you can't make against the top teams. They were getting away with it in the other matches versus some of the lesser teams. They were getting away with making those mistakes. You can't do that versus the top teams. So you got to think they maybe go back and think about that and think we can't afford to make mistakes because we don't have the talent to shoot our way out of it.
Well, and on the side of Envy, they can't afford to make the mistakes, and they do have the talent, but they're not seeing the results here. And again, kind of what I said, Aches had said, is that they just keep making these basic mistakes that they shouldn't be at this level. And that's got to be, I mean, Study, in terms of that, you look at them, they have the talent, but they're still making these mistakes. I mean, again, it's Elevate, so there's certainly a chance to win here, but they feel like almost like they're not trying hard enough.
Yeah, it's all about the pacing for me with this team. Like, we heard him yesterday in the comms. Hook was running in first when he was yelling, and he was coming all spawn. It just doesn't make sense. And one thing that they're going to have an issue in this series is that Elevate is just really aggressive. So it's going to be really hard for them to just keep up with the pace that they're at if they don't switch up the way that they're just playing. If they're just able to speed it up, they'll be a lot better. Obviously, they're 0-7 in Search and Destroy.
That's
that
unacceptable.
Is something that you don't really expect coming out of these players. The last two series that they had versus Splice versus Enigma 6, I feel like they're just really demoralized right now, and this is a match that Elevate needs to be able to capitalize on.
I think that if they're ever going to win a Search and Destroy, this is it. And map 2 is their pick. I asked Bevels, he said they went with Gridlock S&D. It's their pick, map 2. Envy's winning that map. Envy's going to win this series.
You think they break the James Bond?
I mean, the thing is, also, like, I'm not sure. I don't know what the map spread is yet, but I'm not sure if Envy is going to veto frequency because Envy's been pretty decent.
No, they did. If they only have frequency control in this series, I'm pretty sure.
So, like, frequency for Elevate we know has been very good. So Envy versus them on that could be tough. But yeah, I think it comes down to that Search and Destroy. Envy keep putting themselves in a hole every series by losing that. Like, they have to win Search. They have too many great Search players, a great Search coach, to not just slow down and win one, right? Like, people are throwing their lives away. Their mid-round adjustments are horrendous. Like, talk, communicate through it, and figure out a plan.
At this point, if I'm 0-7 in Search and Destroy, if I'm on this envious team, I'm just going to be like, everybody just do whatever you want to do. Because obviously, you're trying to play like a team, and it's obviously not working. So just do whatever you want to do, and then we'll live with the results.
When we were at 2014 champs, we were horrible at the very beginning of the tournament. Yeah. And we used to have all these strats that we went over for a month, 2 months before. And we were getting destroyed. And Joe, Merck, our teammate, looks at Rambo and he goes, just let these guys do whatever they want. And we just did whatever we want, and somehow it started to work. And then once you start to do that, you start to make strats based around what players like to do. And that's something we might see this envious team do, because they did do something like that last year on that Evil Genius team when it was Aches and Silly and them. They weren't good at Search, and they fixed it. It was beautiful.
Well, we will see if it can become beautiful here, if Envy can get an S&D win, which one of these teams is going to come out on top to end out this week. We're going to send it over now to Ben and Chance.
Thank you so much, Katie. Ant being incredibly modest right there, saying, yeah, it started to work. Nah, back in 2014, that champs run they went on, their search and destroy was damn near flawless. So maybe Ant should get back and maybe do a coaching role. Who knows? But whatever it is, Envy's search and destroy, and also kind of touched a little bit on it as well. This isn't the first time we've seen a dry spell in search for them.
No, 0-12 last year, and then they go on to win champs. And it was 0-12 through the pro, and it was bad because Envy's now losing a couple series like 3-0. They're getting bullied out. Last year, it was like they kept going to game 5s.
Right.
And they were like winning respawns, and they could just never find anything to put together. And it's another, like we touched on it briefly with E6 as well, is back in London, their S&D was like solid. Envy, the same thing. It wasn't great. They were like 4 and 5, but they got top 4. Their S&D was fine, and now we're at a point where if the S&D is non-existent, they haven't gotten massively better at the respawn. So I think it's even more important than last year of like, this needs to be fixed by like, I don't know, last week.
Well, that's, again, another scary thing. You know, we're a week away from Anaheim now, then your last roster change period. I don't think coming into this couple of weeks, Envy was kind of on that list where you had, yeah, maybe they make a change. But if their search and destroy is terrible, is that something which you think is enough for them maybe to consider a switch?
So the team they had last year, I would have said, well, obviously they won champs, so it's easy to say in hindsight, but stick together, because I think all the players that were on that former team, similar sort of mentality, willing to fight through it. I don't know if I have enough faith in this team to be able to fight through that mentally. I could very well see character clashing, personalities going at each other. So I think they need to nip it in the bud a lot quicker than what happened last year. So 0-7 is bad. They can get nowhere near that 0-12 margin. They need to have at least a halfway decent showing at Anaheim. Because if you go from top 4, you have a bad pro league, you collapse to top 12, yeah, you're instantly thinking like, yeah, we might need to make a fix.
Well, here's the weird thing though. When you look at this Envy squad, it's not one you would expect to be struggling in search and destroy.
Right, and I hate talking about it too, but you have to, because it's blatantly obvious. Like, yeah, it is search stars on your team of like, that's where, like Pharaoh and Decimate made their name for themselves in the S&D community. They are phenomenal search and destroy players, and it's not like the other 3 are bad.
I've been very curious to see. I wish we could do listen-ins in search. I really do. I know you've listened to a couple of teams here and now. Have you heard Envy and like listening in and search and destroy recently?
Well, I'll tell you the story. It was we were casting Envy against 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
They went up 5-1. Pharaoh sniping literally everything.
Yeah,
remember that series? Knocked it. So after that series, there was an argument between a couple teammates of there was one player on the team. You'll never guess who. That during the map was criticizing mistakes. Because if you remember, there was a lot of like rounds that they should have lost without Pharaoh going godlike.
Yep.
And so there's one player trying to address these issues in the middle of the map, and then Pharaoh's like, why are you talking to me? I'm winning these rounds for us. Let me do my thing.
Okay.
And they were going like at each other's necks, talking after the map. And that's the sort of thing, like in the S&D, like they need to figure this out quickly of, does Aches just need to leave him alone and just say what the guys were talking about in the desk, just, all right, screw it, you go, just run free, do what you want, we'll live with the results. And I think they're at that point now of, instead of trying to micromanage during a map, you just have to let things happen, because I think that's just the type of players they are.
Wait and see. Of course, before we get to a search and destroy, we have Seaside hardpoint.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, start with the respawn. It's all good and well to get carried away with the storyline of just how bad Envy are at search and destroy, but maybe today is the day they turn a page and a new chapter of search and destroy begins for them coming into Anaheim. But early on, it's a good start for them on P1 as Aches with the ICR. There's one. Can he find a second? Close. Teammates are there to assist. And honestly, if you're silly, he was just kind of sat in the hill, just picking up all the time.
Well, quite a bit of time he had, as well as a handful of kills. Envy, again, about as good of an opening break as you could really want. Maybe you want to get all the scrap time, but either way, you get a sizable lead. The rotation is seemingly going your way. The player that did just fall does spawn up close. And now Envy, they got a couple seconds where you really probably can't afford to die, and if you do, you got to make sure you hold the kill cam and spawn in the back. Number 5 spawns out.
Small thing. We mentioned this last time we casted Elevate. Skies and the nades, just how good he is with them.
Consistent.
He's 1 for 1 so far. I'm going to keep kind of track on that every now and then, just to see just how many kills he can pick up with his utility. Because it just seems like he's, again, just so consistent with it. Elevate, good break though on a P2. And now it's going to be Envy trying to break from the front, having to go all the way into barrels. And there's a wall of Elevate players ready and waiting for Feezy. First to the charge, he finds Pharaoh. Meanwhile, teammates should have some relatively simple trades. And 30 seconds left. This is about the time now where Elevate may consider just pushing through barrels and trying to force Team Envy to spawn out. You'll see number 10 on the minimum. That's Perfeezy. Push out. He doesn't want to be anchoring that spawn anymore.
Well, Hill 2 is a sizable misstep for Envy, and if it spirals out for Hill 3, that is going to be a very rough stretch. Now, Elevate slowed the pace down when, honestly, they were kind of 50-50 on the foot race, but they got a little bit of utility trying to force their way through the side, but utility can be thrown from both sides. That stun shuts them down. Pharaoh picks up a couple kills, and Elevate stuffed on their first attempt on the rotation.
I think you called that out perfectly. They had the time where it would have been 50-50 fights. They had a couple of players close to streak, so they slowed it down, but almost tunneled, and Emma Ruiz was one of those players close, and he managed to escape with his life. Nice shots now. Can Silly be challenged by a teammate? No, he can't. Still, Emma Ruiz tagging up players left and right in the hill, but it's still Envy inside the hill, picking up the time. Emma Ruiz now will be pushed. He's been forced to back away, has teammates in support. One EKA comes through. Now you have to get the streaks. This has been a terrible hill for Elevate. You need to secure at least something from this deficit.
And you see his teammates are trying to do everything he can, and you see the kill feed. Huke is there. He's involved. He's killed just about everyone, and M. Ruiz, he feels it. He wants to get the time when the hill pops. In 15 seconds, Envy, they got all the time in the world to hunt him down. You try to get the bait. Huke kills another. Huke is running through Elevate. M. Ruiz trying to stay alive, and he just keeps backing up. This started in Orange Hallway. He's now been pushed back to Church and still looking for the kill.
And there comes a point where you just have to say, all right, I've wasted too much time, but now he flies forward. The lightning and the hellstorm earned thanks to the stun. Patience from Emma Ruiz, and he's actually going to ping the lightning. Has all the information on all 5 players. Didn't want to use it there. Wise from him. But that's one of those situations where if he doesn't get those streaks, that is a massive amount of time wasted. And now he has to use them well, though.
Yeah, and it's a genuinely beautiful play for him to get him, too, because you saw the setup was there. Obviously, you want to break through on that last hill, but it's tough to do anyway. And Huke went on a rampage, so you cut your losses. Now, of course, you try to want to win the barrels hill as well. You don't want the lead to spiral out of control and have to use the streaks from a bad situation. But Envy just pouring it on. The gun's starting to heat up just a little bit. You saw the stats before. Huke is not playing poorly. He's actually playing very well, and well, hasn't slowed down at all.
11%, almost double the amount of kills anyone else's team has. Apes is second best. It just picked up his 8th. As Hill will rotate in 5 seconds. It's going to be a 118 to 85 point game in favor of Team Envious, so advantage them after the first rotation. Huke also working towards the grab slam. Now we'll see the lightning invested. Of course, that was a pingless lightning. He did use his ping earlier on, and he does find Silly. Now it comes down to his teammates winning the fights inside the hill.
And of course, now you're again at a point where you use the lightning. You have to make sure you get a solid amount of time. But Envy hasn't quite getting cleared out of mid. Of course, all this time has gone the way of Elevate, but that's because Envy's swarming on it to try to get the clean break. Decimate's going to fall, but you have to imagine they got enough guns for the job, and the team kill doesn't make a difference. They get the clean wipe. Envy trying to extend this lead just a little bit. Now, last time, they completely butchered the rotation a second. They gave up the back spawns. Envy, they're in a great situation again. They just got to avoid that screw-up.
Oh, Pharaoh, beautiful shots for the second. He's now working on streaks. Streaks 120 away. You mentioned, of course, the rotation Envy had prior towards P2. And this time, you can already see Silly, number 2, back of the map. Has some support from Pharaoh. He's going to cover Church. Teammate picks up Scrap. Now it comes down to trying to get the specialists off. The grab slam was almost used wisely. Emma Ruiz is going to use a streak. Now the Tempest is out. That should change. Double kill for Pharaoh. He earns streaks. Honestly, challenge for the 3rd. Why not? Shots on teammates inside the hill. Can he just somehow snap on? Find one more chain with the Tempest? Yes, he can. Full streaks for Pharaoh. He will fall, but Envy hold.
And they hold the rotation as well. They hold the back spawn. So despite the streaks, despite the Elevate kills early on, they should be good to clean house eventually. And it looks like Pharaoh gets out with his life, so they got enough bodies. Elevate, they might want to take another crack at it, but it's going to be a tough spot because you're running into Pharaoh. You talk about a gun that's heating up. Huke had an amazing start. Now Pharaoh has surpassed him in kills, 16, leads the lobby. You got streaks to break through on next. If Huke stays alive, well, maybe you don't need him, but I assume that means they'll call in at least one of them to try to break through, as they fall one by one.
Wants to wait for his teammates to get maybe a little bit better map positioning. The problem is, look at number 6. Emma Ruiz is also spawned out, so if you wait too long here over towards P1, you are going to get flanked. And Emma Ruiz, his eyes wide open to a massive opportunity there to find a couple of kills. Pharaoh uses one streak. That's the Hellstorm down and out. It connects with Whalers, but Emma Ruiz still being a problem. Now the Tempest is also out, but a flank comes through from Huke. Emma Ruiz is off the map, and Envy will hold Fountain.
And those are the plays that win you the game. They use the streak despite the flank, and they get the back spawn. Silly pops up in the back as soon as it's open from the streak, clearing it out. And now it's just a lead. We're Elevate on the hold. Maybe they could have chipped away at it. Now they're going to find themselves down by just so much time. And you got a couple players trying to take a crack at it. There's just no hope. Breaking is incredibly difficult without utility. Utility they no longer have. Now you're down by 100 points. It is Seaside, so anything is possible. But Envy has just been in this game on another level.
Bear in mind, Hook invested his grab slam earlier on, or tried to. It went back down a half charge. He actually may earn technically a second one before Profizi. Finally, Profizi does get it, so maybe this could be an opportunity for Elevate to come back into the game. But you have to use your specialist properly, as Skies finds a nice double there to Silly and Hook.
And Skies is on a 5 spree as well. You talk about players needing to step up and go big for the team. Skies has done it before. He's got some extra health to try to do it again. And the extra health, you talk about making a difference. Best TAC 5s in the game. Not actually, it's not a thing, but he does get shut down just before the streaks come in. Elevate, though, has held on to Barrows Hill for the majority of the time. Ake's the last man. He gets taken down. They will get those final 20 seconds. So that 100-point lead more than cut in half.
So here's what you have. War Machine, Grab Slam, working towards Vision Pulse. Whalers is going to have to heat up, though. He needs a good spree. On the flip side for Envy, you still have Pharaoh in his streak. Hook is going to get another Grab Slam. Decimate and Aches also working towards their specialists, too. So for Elevate to hold this, they need the same rotation from P1 to P2, but they also need the majority of time here on P1. And it's going to be Envy inside the hill first, and Purify is out. Grab Slam comes through. It shuts down Decimate. Now the lightning is being used. Everything in the kitchen sink being thrown at P1 here from Team Envious, and they survive the initial push.
And that was just well played. You leave one guy to die by the Grab Slam. Everyone else spreads out, and the lightning strike just powerful in that spot. And it's not the most common place to call it in, but they make it work. 10 seconds virtually away, and the game is theirs. Pharaoh trying to flank a couple players. Finds at least one before he's dropped. Huke's got a Grab Slam, and it seems like there's too much. Elevate, well, they get the kills in and around the hill, and well, actually, they do have the rotation, Ben, so you can never call it.
Classic Seaside hardpoint comeback, potentially. Depends if Hook botches this Grab Slam. Oh, wow. He went high.
Yes, he did.
But he does fall now. Decimate with a War Machine. Flak should be out. Should know he has it. Rafizi didn't get the memo. Ruiz did have Flak, but he still falls, and Decimate says, I don't even need the War Machine. I'll challenge you myself. 243, 184. Is there enough time for Elevate to touch the hill? 3 seconds is the time they have. You've got to push through. You don't have time to wait, Profizi. May have waited just a second too long. Envy take map 1.
And I know 250 to 184 isn't too big of a stretch, but in my mind, that is close to dominating fashion. Because it was really, in my mind, it was the first to second hill. Envy completely butchered the rotation. They ended up giving up the back spawns. Player dies just a second too early, which granted is unfortunate, but you had a great opportunity to get a massive lead, and instead it's actually Elevate that has the lead going into third. But then other than that, it was nothing but Envy. It was the Huke show early on, it was the Pharaoh show a little bit later, and then big plays with the specialist in the end just to get that final secure.
But now, gents.
But now
we head over to Game 2, and if you're unfamiliar with what Game 2 is, it's Search and Destroy. And if you're unfamiliar that Game 2 was Search, you're probably unaware. Envy's Search and Destroy not been great. We were talking about it at the start of the series. It's been a big, big problem. When you combine the fact that they have such quality Search and Destroy players and a fantastic coach as well, let's not forget.
Another S&D
superstar. You would have thought that was the absolute recipe for success in that game mode, and it just hasn't been the case.
I mean, the good news is you have one very obvious path to improvement. Just stop losing Search. Just figure it out. Go back to the drawing boards. Adjust that, and you'll be good to go for Anaheim.
Well, before we get into the Search and Destroy in Game 2, I know Jess caught up with the players. Jess, what do they have to say?
Thanks, Ben. Yep, well, first up from Envy, I caught up with Decimate, and he's obviously not happy with how things are going, and he told me, well, we should have beat 100 Thieves, we should have beat E-United. Yesterday, we should have beat E6, but we just keep choking. He said it's not even that E6 played well, we just played poorly. And he also said something that I've heard a lot of other players from other teams say, which is, if we play the way we should, we can beat any team, but if we play the way we played yesterday, any team can beat us. Now, over on the side of Elevate, I caught up with Profizi, and he's actually not too bummed about the lost 100 Thieves yesterday. He said, yeah, even though they're championship winners, they're not gods, they're just humans, so we were not expecting to go down 3-0 like that. But in this series versus Envy, he said, we both need the W, so it's definitely going to be a slugfest. But for now, back on over to the casters.
Thank you so much, Jess. Slugfest, I hope so. Map number 1 was somewhat close, but we need maybe closer. We've already had 1 game 5 today. May as well just make it 2. Let's just cut to the chase and then see if Envy can actually win their search. That would be good for Envy though, right? They lose this, it goes to a game 5, and then they somehow win in game 5. That would give them a big amount of confidence.
So they want to win this search and destroy, lose the next 2 respawns, and then win the final S&D. That way you go from 0-7. You get both the S&D wins. You get as much S&D practice on land that you possibly can before Anaheim.
They need it.
Next level.
That's for sure. Of course, Decimate, after speaking to Jess, you can tell not too happy. Should have. A lot of shoulds there in terms of the results that they've had and some of the games they've played, who they think they should have beaten. To be honest, it's just those small mistakes which have come through. I think a lot of us had Envy as teetering on top 4, but their search and destroy may have just knocked them down a peg or 2 in most people's power rankings heading into Anaheim. If they fix it, you just the weird thing about Aches is you just never know what you're going to get come champs time. You just don't know what to expect. And it's so exciting. Whenever we get to this part of the season, I just love it. I love it for that exact reason. You never know what you're going to get out of whatever team Pat's on.
It's always like the opposite of what I expect, too. Like, when this Envy team formed, I was like, okay, they're not going to be good at London, but they're going to be disgusting later on. And then they get top 4, and I was like, wow, they're out of the gate down hot. They're going to be amazing. And then they do it, like, backwards. So as soon as I start to lose faith in them, then they're just going to turn into God. Like, who knows? I mean, obviously, it's been a bad stretch, but they're still going toe-to-toe with 100 Thieves. So there's still a lot of positive takeaways.
Don't say that out loud, because if Aches hears that, he might start telling you, all right, at champs, tell me I'm going to finish last. Tell me I'm going to win everything else, but champs, tell me I'll finish last. See if the bad run of form there for Envy will continue here. Gridlock search, game 2. Aches in the sniper rifle. We've seen him on Gridlock do this a couple of times. We had a big debate a couple of months ago about whether he is the player that should be sniping. Of course, we saw Pharaoh with the sniper rifle do some disgusting things. It was almost as if it was a show to Aches saying, hey, no, I'm going to be the key sniper. But when it comes to Gridlock specifically, Aches is a pretty consistent sniper. I will give him that. He is consistent. He's not going to hit your flashy shots, but he does tend to hit shots when he needs to.
Well, this is the proving grounds. We don't need an opinion if we just see the results. So far, 0 for 2. But of course, they do get a bomb towards site.
Pharaoh would have hit that.
Pharaoh would have hit both.
Yeah.
At least the first one.
Second one was tough.
Whalers was just standing there, like.
Still time ticking. 25 seconds. Aches is still over at B. Might just shoot for the sake of shooting, maybe just to force a rotation out because his teammates, they've managed to get in towards A, but they will be met by Elevate reinforcements. 3 players there. Bomb is going down. Profizi, first blood with the nade. Love to see it. Trophy is down, though. Aches now rotates sniper in towards Showers. That's a hit marker. Unlucky. 5v3.
Well, he hits that one. He only takes the shots he knows he can hit. He's got the challenge with the pistol. It's all bait. Hugh comes in for the final 2. You said when he was over towards the other site, maybe just shoot for distraction. Aches only shoots when there's something to kill. And he connects, Ben, multiple shots other than the ones he missed. And it definitely helped that Hugh got 2 and Silly planted bomb and picked up a kill. And there's other things at play, but
A good first round, though.
a good first round for Envy.
Good first round. That was a 5v3, was it not?
Yeah, very quickly.
I mean, yeah, the trades came through, but the hit marker and the kill, and enough of a distraction for Hook to get around the back of the final player. And Envy do win that first round of search. So, as I said, off to a good start. Now we'll see, though, can they hold defensively?
Well, Aches is sticking with Old Faithful. Nothing there for him, but everyone else is playing nice and aggressive over towards the A site. So who can get the better trades? Who can play effectively like it's better? Respawn. Sky's doing his best. Bant's impression very quickly takes 2 down with the nades. That is now 3 kills and nades in 2 rounds.
Oh, Skies was weak. That would have been a hit marker if he wasn't.
Aches knew that, though.
So wise. EMP thrown out, that connects as well. Pharaoh has shut down on Maurice. It's actually a 3v3 with 30 seconds. A lot of time here for Envy. They just have to be patient, and unfortunately, Aches will be caught out. Last player alive is Pharaoh. 1v3 makes it to the 1v2. Both players look to be stacking, but they find the damage quick enough, and they get the kill. Good response from Elevate. 1-1.
I mean, I'll say, if you start out a round where you just get double naded and you make it kind of interesting towards the end, like, that's not bad work from the side of Envy. The problem is you know, you got double naded off the rip. And I think it's kind of funny. The first round, we saw the nade come in, and then we went to whoever's perspective it was for Elevate. They threw a stun, instantly hit a trophy. It's like, oh, if that was a couple feet over, like in that direction, like, I had to protect him. Now we have another round with the nades from Elevate. Consistent.
Perfeezy looking maybe to try and counter snipe and
shot him through the wall, I suppose.
Oh, unfortunate. I'm not sure.
Oh, never mind. That wasn't sniper.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay, sorry.
It's the ICR, I believe, as Perfeezy hits Silly. Hook was able to at least find one, though, so it is still a 4v4. A good trade so far. As Perfeezy just backs away with the sniper now. If Envy can plant the bomb, Aches is ready post-plant in 18 to snipe over. Makes it so hard to defuse. That's the setup Envy want. Is it the setup they'll get, though? Time's ticking, 50 seconds on the clock.
This is a bunch of bodies stacked in around the hill. Pharaoh's job is flank, but there's no one actually flanking. Cube does win a big one-on-one. That might give you clearance to get this bomb down, but Aches can't find the bait. Perfeezy can!
Snipe. Oh, Lord. Hook turned the corner. I'm dead. Not much he could do there. Perfeezy with a quick scope. He's looking for more, and there's a lot of time off the clock here. It is a 2v3. And at some point, Envy is going to have to put this bomb down. 2v2. 2v1. Oh, Lord. And I'd be laughing too if I was Elevate. Envy spent so long not decisive, didn't want to put the bomb down, and they lose the round.
It's a lot happier than I was expecting. After that, I mean, it was a good round. Don't get me wrong, but that is some comical stuff coming in the comms of Elevate, I suppose. Solid round nonetheless. Got a couple nice sniper shots coming in from Perfeezy. A couple beatdown punches to boot. 2 rounds in a row, back to back for Elevate.
Decimate currently 0-3. See if he can turn his look around and is it delay B push? Well, Aches hasn't seen anything. He's actually gone for the class switch.
Elevate knew.
As soon as he did. Already bomb planting, and you assume someone's going to peek from Ice Cream, and it's Hook this time, so bomb down. Not planted. 5v4. We need to see the kills come through here for Elevate. It's a tough spot that they're actually find themselves in. These guys make the best of it. Lies down. No one expects that. 2v1, all down to Hook. Hook will drop Emerwies with the trade. Elevate looking good in game 2.
There's a saying in chess that you never play hope chess. You never play a move that might be bad and just hope that the opponent doesn't see it. And planting this bomb right here, you're playing hope search and just hope no one peeks from Ice Cream, or at least does like a short peek.
Right.
Like you saw the guy just behind the milk truck that obviously put shots in a Huke, but it's just a bad angle, right? If you don't have the clearance to get the bomb down and you're just hoping the guy doesn't make the play, it's probably not a good play to make. Unless you have information on the other team, but considering Huke killed him, not good information.
Yeah, they had 0 information. Still won the round, but to your point, maybe it could have been a bit cleaner. Either way, Decimate still looking for that first kill. 0-4, the struggles continue. Pharaoh's brought out the snipe. Is Aches sniping as well? I assume not, because he's mid-map. So Pharaoh says, all right, Pat, you had your fun. I gave you 4 rounds. Now it's time for me to teach you a thing or two. First blood comes through. Almost found the second. And he's still searching. And the fact that he has the confidence to bring the sniper over towards Showers really should tell you how good with a sniper this guy really is.
Yeah, I love the concept of the stun is going to force him very far back. His teammate's in a very tough spot. Decimate is in Showers between everyone. He's going to fall. Aches finds 2 despite getting team shot with the sniper. So no one else hitting Aches, I suppose. When all said and done, it's a 2v2. You got the 2 best snipers on Envy. One with an ICR. He's going to fall. Pharaoh looking for the kill. And Whalers, well, he's got to hunt him down. He's got to play this fast.
Whalers tags him up, gets the wall bang, enough time. He will get the defuse. So despite the kills that come through, Elevate still win the round.
And none of that made sense. So like the Envy gets the first blood. You think when you team shoot your teammate,
he should be dead.
He should be dead. Aches, he gets
takes 0 bullets. Yeah.
And we'll see how, I suppose. He's going to jump across, get shot by his teammate, and then just finds 2. Oh, both guys turning sideways. Okay. So Elevate body stacked a little bit, and it didn't make a difference in the end because Whalers clutched the 1v2.
Aches played that round so well.
Yes, he did.
And I'm just going to say it. You should just make that switch permanent. You really should. Just let Pharaoh snipe. and just let Pat run whatever he wants to run in search. I feel like you're going to get so much more value.
At this point, they should just both snipe. It could not get worse, right? Like, they're down 4-1. Like, I completely forgot when Hugh got the kill on bomb. When you said Elevate won the round, it just, like, it slipped my mind. I'm like, oh, yeah, it didn't really make it. Like, you could do whatever you want against Envy and Search. You can play Hope Search because all's well that ends well in the end. You get the round wins.
Oh, there's a double kill. Triple? Almost, but Profizi trades 4v2. Whalers is being shot from mid-map, so you know where the last player is after you take care of Pharaoh. 4v1. Bomb should go down with absolute ease. And Aches is left in a near hopeless scenario. 1v3. Anything he has going from here is that wasn't traded.
You see the player lean out for the trade, and it's like, oh, no, okay, I'll play smart. Because now Aches has to get a kill against players that maybe 2 of them are body stacked, but even then, it's tough going fights to win. And, well, he's made noise in showers, and he's going to get cut down oh so quick. Elevate has been on Gridlock many a times. We know they're solid at it. And, well, now you got to try to figure things out round by round, because Envy,
They're getting close to 0-8.
captain of the struggle bus. Captains, I should say.
Elevate in the driver's seat in game 2. Fell early in game 1. So this one round of many still to go, potentially, if a comeback does occur, to level up the series. 1-1. Aches sniping again over towards B. Teammates want to push it. There's no one from Elevate here. Now, if you're quick and decisive, you could maybe get that bomb down, but you have to be quick. And I'm so glad Silly readjusted there because that was stretchable. And what I mean by that is someone could have diffused without the line of sight from the sniper rifle. That's the setup you want here from Team Envious. So Aches, back 18, can see the bomb diffuse. And if Silly hadn't readjusted, that would have been very problematic for Aches. Bigger problem, though, 3 players on the flank.
Yeah, and he only spotted 1 as well, so Aches thinks there might only be 1. Instead, it basically is the entire team. He gets cut down. Silly, though, you remember the spot he was playing earlier? He moved around house. He finds 2. So the flank is there. Envy responds in kind. You got a 4v3, and there is no time on the clock, Ben.
Yep, 13 seconds. Round done and dusted.
Done and dusted. Whalers on a 4 spree to keep in the back of your mind, but Envy, they're going to go for the old 5 in a row. And there's number 1.
Not going to be easy. They're looking for any confidence boost they can get at this point, and that was a nice round. Despite the 3-man flank, I will say, Silly really the saving grace of the round, and you'll see exactly how. Right here. There's the first as he takes the challenge, and second slides in, and he reads it so well. Shuts down Brezzy, grabs an ICR, and at that point, even if Aches does fall, which he did, he was in a good position just to give some cover fire for his teammates.
Yeah, and I think it was a good stun grenade, it looked like, coming in on the top window from whoever it might have been, but solid stuff. A good search and destroy play from Envy.
Definitely 1-7, still struggling. So they go on to the attack, Profizi spotted, and Pharaoh wants no part of that. 3 players push through B. So Whalers, well, may actually fall from behind here. Does he sense it? Does COD sense his tingling? He's close to streaks as well. Do bear that in mind. He's covered mid very well, but player actually slips through. This is an easy pick by his standards. Grabs it. 175 away from streaks, and they've realized the amount of resources that Envy sent towards the backside of the map. Now there's just 2 players left. 1 player left. It's Aches. It's over. Envy 0-8 now in search. The losing spree continues, and there seems as if they're just in a black hole falling deeper and deeper. There is no light at the end of the tunnel.
And now if you're out there, you're like, boys, 1 respawn, and we guarantee a game 5 where we will be A-okay. Because again, Elevate, at least on Gridlock, have been fantastic, and you saw an example there.
They sure have. Game 1, not really all too close. Envy take it. Game 2, definitely not close. Elevate take it. We'll be back after this with Game 3 Control.
The Call of Duty World League is presented by PlayStation 4, the official platform of the CWL, Astro Gaming, the official headset and mix amp of the CWL, and Republic of Gamers, the official monitor of the CWL.
Game fuel. Level up the game.
After game 2, it's all tied up. After Envy win map 1, you're probably not all that surprised about that statement. Elevate win the search and destroy, and Trans, I think you summed this up perfectly. Win another respawn, you're probably going to force a game 5, unless you win both. Here's a look. We got a frequency control next, then an Arsenal hardpoint, and if it does go 5, Hacienda search and destroy. But between frequency and Arsenal here, you fancy Elevate's chances at least one of them?
I do. So I think the story for Elevate has been London, not great, new team, whatever. Coming in the first week of the Pro League, go 3-0, and you're like, oh boy, they can make a run for top 4, right? Then they lose a couple of series. Some of them did not look great. But I think, and so the narrative switched, right? It went from, okay, maybe not top 4, but maybe they're like decent. Like, we'll see exactly what their peak is, but a win here against Envy, I think is still really good. Like, Envy is obviously a team that just got top 4. And I think even if you have a couple tough series, outside of the top 3 teams right now, I think a ton is like wide open in terms of good placings in Anaheim. And I think Elevate is absolutely a team that could be a threat to encroach on not just the top 8, the top 6, but maybe even the top 4 placing. If things start to just really go their way, if they have the perfect tournament.
You need a reciprocity type of an event, you know, where everything goes your way, you're winning game 5s left and right, and you go on a deep run. Obviously,
or an LG type of an event.
I mean, yeah.
You'll take either.
At this point, absolutely you will. Well, control underway, already pressured over towards B from Elevate. They want to try and push through, and Farrell will say, all right, please do. Posted up with an ICR. Easy pickings for him. First 2 kills in favor of Envy. Rezi, with the help of Whalers, might be able to find the first ticket. Team kill comes through as well, so big advantage. Opening in the door, but Are Elevate going to take a pass? No, they go back. First tick comes through.
Honestly, they're potentially going to get more. You got players for Envy that were expecting a rotation maybe over towards Ace. They got 3 players swarming mid-map, and Nate comes in, but then the Sogs and everyone else, it seems like, is going to fall. Aches and Huke trying to slip through. At least Aches gets cut down. The second tick is now gone. Ruiz is there by himself. Envy, though, still thinking about fighting for it. Silly's still heading that direction, and if you take him down, it's not the end of the world, and they do take him down, so they secured that, but A's going as well.
I was going to say, it's really smart, though, from Elevate to just split the pressure, really make Envy think about what they want to do on defensively, because if you send too many resources for one guy, you're going to cap A so fast. Damage has been done at B. You already have 2 ticks, and now you're actually going to get 2 ticks over towards A as well, so really well played. Some good management there of this round. Coming out of Elevate, they also have themselves a 2-kill lead. Now it's just about actually capping one of these zones, giving yourself an extra minute. And let's be honest, it's 2 minutes 12 to get 1 tick into B. There should be no excuse here for Elevate to lose this round.
I mean, you still have to have a little bit of control. Envy still have a lot of pressure. They got a bottom end map. Aches and Pharaoh obviously working the front end. And it's 3 players from Elevate coming through. The first one going to fall. The next one going to fall. Pharaoh, well, tries to go for the heal instead of the gunfight. But even still, when all said and done, it's no pressure over towards B. They're going for the spawn kills, which might even be a better path to success for Elevate.
Honestly, I don't think you need to. You only need 1 tick, right? As soon as your teammates win the first fights, all you have to do is push over towards the hill.
Okay.
But the reality of the situation is everyone wins their fights. Grapple as high as you want. Hook, it isn't going to make a damn bit of difference. B, capped up. And again, I love the management we just saw out of Elevate from that round. It was so well played. Even the decision to have 2 players push through the ult and go for those spawn traps, go for the spawn kills, really good stuff from them.
I was going to say, I was trying to sell the story of Envy could maintain control for a while. And you saw as soon as the players on the front, and like Pharaoh and Eggs did their job.
Yeah.
There's 2 bodies there. They take down 2 kills and at least slow the 3rd guy down. But then off spawn, no one else on Envy, because they're so concerned about the point, got information on those remaining Elevate players. And then as you pointed out, as soon as they got those 2 kills in spawn, dip out. Yep. And go help out of the point. It was a perfect series of play calls from Elevate, who again, in effect, if they win 1 more respawn of the next 2, pretty much guarantees the series.
Unless
the S&D curse stops today.
Oh, so far it doesn't look like it will. Envy though, now on the attack skies with a nice double. Can actually find 3 here. Assist comes through, we'll take that. Perfect start for Elevate, yet to actually lose a life. Envy, 4 players have gone down. All 5 have been wiped, and Rezzy's already thinking about maybe going for some players off spawn. This is a beautiful start to the round from Elevate.
Oh, no We United. No perfect round. A couple players do fall, but a good start nonetheless. See a bunch of bodies in the hill come through. Ace with the ICR actually cuts down a few along the way. So Envy clearance over towards the Ace site. They got 2 players, possibly 3, that are going to be inside. And the kills are obviously starting to lean their way. Mid-map goes to Elevate. The elbow, though, it's just tough to fight through because Aches actually still has pressure mid-map. So the players get through, then they got to deal with Decimate. He's here. He can find 1. 2 ticks have already come through. Tough gunfights right now for Elevate to win. Envy, good clearance so far. The team kill, though, might be enough to slow it down.
And that was huge because Hook was 25 away from streaks, I believe. So the challenge, although it may have seemed a little reckless, actually works out massively in their favor. They deny the streaks and they also keep A. Yes, there's 2 ticks in there, but Elevate still with a 2-life advantage. They are hanging on here in round 2.
Got progression over towards another point. Elevate kind of split resources just a little bit. Whalers is going to get surrounded by everybody. He falls. Aches picks up a kill as well. So you got clearance over the B point. They're actually playing for the aggression. You see Huke number 9, Pharaoh, actually trying to push up for some spawn kills. Then they go right back to the point for the capture. It's going to look like nearly 2 ticks are through. And you can see the way Skies is playing. He's like, it's looking bad in one direction. I can't afford to give up A. And as soon as you're like that on a defensive round, that means the offense is doing something right.
Well, hold on. It's not even looking all that great at B because I believe it's been defended. It has. So that 3rd tick will be decapped. Now you have 35 seconds for Envy with just 9 lives left to make a play. The saving grace. Hook has the grab slam. The grapple not perfect. Is he going to have to invest it? Maybe not. Envy slaying out. He has it, but the 3rd tick is coming through, and he may just wait for the push.
And you can see the decision, though, from Elevate. They're not pushing it. They obviously know he's going to have the grab slam. So you got players that rotated over towards B, and you got the rest of them looking for kills. But Envy finds the first, and Huke and Pharaoh, they are trying to hunt them down.
I feel like you might have wanted to send maybe just one player there, see if you could bait out the grab slam. But not going to be the case. Minute 12, 1 ticket B. 6 lives remain for Envy. As Huke will fall, he will come back off respawn. And essentially, you're going to have yourself a round of search and destroy with one player of Elevate respawning up. And Silly didn't check his corner. Brezzy says thank you. And now the question is, does Huke even have a chance to invest? Well, he doesn't. Whalers finds the pick. The trades are surely going to come through. It's a 4v2.
You got Fairman map Esme working for the other angle. They have 44 seconds to work with and find picks, but you can't find the first. You get taken down instantly, and any hope there might have been, it all falls on Decimate. They're debating on just flying at him, but the man's got a SOG. You got 3 bodies. You can even let him get on the point.
I think they were also worried a little bit about maybe the nade. That was what may have just forced them back a second there. They spot him. If Decimate's going to do this, he can't afford to miss, he would have needed to invest the nade, but it's basically impossible in the situation with how Envy had set up. Or sorry, how Elevate had set up, so they now go 2-0 up into control. Not looking good here for Team Envy.
And they had a ferocious round on offense.
Yeah, they did.
A round past.
That, by the way, again,
It is the team shots in the back. Yeah, it just...
Such a big, big kill that occurred. Stopped Huke away from streaks. Even if Huke hadn't taken that fight and they kept the point there, which was more than possible because they were so close to that third tick, you get streaks from that. So you cannot underestimate the importance of that.
This is a lot of players going towards A. Huke obviously has that grab slam, and I don't know if there's one on the other side. For Fiza getting close to it, he doesn't even need it. You get the stun to stop him, and Elevate just ran them over. 1 tick is through, and frankly, they're going to get a lot more.
Oh, yeah, they definitely should. And now the split pressure over towards B. We'll send it over to an Elevate. Astro Gaming listening.
Good job, Lily. Out of weak. One shot, Tilly. Wait. 3. Mid on me. Give me 2. You. X is mid. Wait, listen, I have grass spikes. Go ahead. I got him at B. I have crash, guys. I'm gonna use it when you spawn. Oh, I'm on streaks. I'm nading out her. I have a landing. Nice, wait. What's the free kill? I have a landing out her. Come on. I have mid, yes. Let's B, X is B. There's 2B on me, guys. I have an ice here elbow. I got 1B, I have nice. One more B on me, X. One more B, bro. I'm shaking myself. There's 3B, what the fuck? Bottom mid. They killed me. Nothing bottom. Our side B. There's 2. Good job, Whaley. One more. Our inner. Our inner. I have grass spike.
All Elevate's having their way.
I'll listen in as fast as the round is going.
More than likely, yes. 23-18 streaks as well. Vision Pulse, I believe, was just popped.
It was.
Yep. Whalers pulls that in. You still have the slam. And again, you still have the streaks. And here's the first.
He's going for that hard angle. You talk about having a health, well, it kills nothing, but I like the attempt. The grab slam connects. You know they're in L with that Hellstorm. The play is there, set in stone, written in the books. And Elevated is just a matter of time. They got bodies on the point. The second tick is going to be through. You get to the hill, you got to deal with Skies. You got to deal with the War Machine. That is Elevate as quick as you could ask for. Getting the job done in the 3-0 fashion. Respecting our time.
That was brutal.
That was very quick. Envy played great in the hardpoint.
Yeah, they did.
And then since then.
And here's something that was on my mind during that quick listen, and it has nothing to do with the actual listening itself, but bear with me here. When we were talking about Envy Search and Destroy before, you made a great point about what you heard after the Game 5 when they were arguing, right? It sounded like it was maybe Pharaoh a little upset with some teammates in the game, maybe, giving some flack about certain situations, basically talking over strat, which wasn't the right time. Now, if that continuously happens, right? If that happens in your Game 2s as well, to kind of forget that mindset, if that's something which is now starting to happen more frequently, that could explain maybe the poor Game 3 performances.
And in my mind, just to be clear, that's not on Iggs. It's not necessarily the wrong time in-game. If mistakes need to be fixed, it might be in between rounds and it needs to happen, but it depends on player personalities. Right. And this is something Coach has been talking about a long time. Crowder's referred to himself as an anger translator of there's certain personalities where you just have to make an adjustment in the way you say, and I'm saying for this team specifically, maybe that needs to happen. If players tilt a little bit, maybe just save it for after the series is over, whatever it is. But if you're talking about a team that can maybe tilt in game and you get blown out 2 maps in a row,
right,
it's a tough situation to deal with.
Think about it, you take another loss like that, not only is it a tough loss to take because you got beat pretty hard, but then you also have in the back of your mind, when was the last time we won a Surge? The players know, right? They know they're now 0-8.
March 6th. No, it isn't about 0-8.
But they know how poor this spree has been,
yeah,
right? They're well aware of it. Trust me on that. They are more than aware of the record as it stands. And I guess it's becoming maybe a psychological thing as well. So for me, that's why for this MV squad, I think the absolute best thing that could happen is this goes to Game 5 and they win. For MV's sake, of course, Elevate, they prefer to close out the hardpoint.
Yeah, and I think this like stretch of Pro League for both divisions, like the biggest theme in my mind has just been the psychological element to it.
Yeah,
because we've seen teams literally break up, not because of lack of skill.
Nope.
Just because of vibes, effectively, of just losing the chemistry in between yourselves, and like teams have broken up for that reason. And so we're coming up on Anaheim where you start like you can't let anything get in your head effectively.
Right. And I will say, it is harder. You got to remember an extra teammate this year, right? That's an extra person that you could potentially have a falling out with. 5v5, it's being in a team is essentially like being in a family. Families argue.
And there's some very talented people out there, not in the league, sitting on a bench, free agent, whatever it's going to be. So I'm just saying, if there's any doubt in any team's mind, there's a lot of diamonds in the rough out on the places where trades, and that just makes it worse.
And you have one team change left too. So if you're going to pull the trigger, you may as well pull the trigger before the 2 biggest tournaments of the year.
And obviously, we're not saying that's the case at this point for either team. Not at all. But
hypotheticals.
But hypotheticals, again, it's just that's why it's so important to be on a team where you keep the chemistry together, where you play off each other well, and you just got to keep everyone on the same page, and it's not an easy thing to do.
Can Envy recover after another search loss and pretty bad beating there in Game 3? So far it is Elevate controlling the first hill. Number 8 off spawn, Silly. Let's spawn out. Curious to see if he just wants to actually just push all the way through over towards P2. That's going to be the play call. Teammate in support. Just 18 seconds left, but Sky's at the back of the map. He's cooking the nade.
Mr. Consistent. Yeah, it's just perfect. You said you were going to keep track, Ben.
So the first hard point was 4.
And the search and destroy, he picked up a double.
I didn't keep track of the search.
But he got at least 2.
He got at least 2. I think he got 3 in the search. I have to go back and check. But again, he's so good with the nades.
And it's funny, too, because if you remember last year for World War II, it was Envy that had all the nade spots.
And even the start of the year, Hoop was one of the only players that actually ran the nade.
Very true. The student has become the teacher. Something like that. Right. One of those sayings, isn't there?
As it stands, 27-21. We are on the hill, though, despite Elevate with the spawns. All good and well spawning in, but make sure you're in the hill, and easy just decides to fly on in and break it himself.
Got that nice little Sog Snapper action coming on. Whalers, though, has been fairly passive on the back end, not taking a ton of gunfights in just because obviously 200 off streaks. He's hoping to get a couple damage, let his teammates maybe finish the kills and get clearance to get into the point. But all that passivity ends up getting no streaks, no time really on that last hill. The rotation, though, is slightly the way of Elevates, but of course, Silly's going to be blocking those spawns in the back, but he's going to take it down, so Elevates, solid job early on this rotation.
I will say, if Envy do lock in that spawn, a big part of it is actually just due to Aches. He was in a 1v3 on the rotation. He at least traded out his life in a horrible situation. He now finds himself at the back of the map as well. So he's doing his job blocking the spawns, but Elevate about to take the lead in terms of the game. 47-45, Elevate still in the hill. Hoop's going through vent play to his left, 2 to his right. He picked left. He gets traded out. Elevate just with all the numbers holding from the front.
Yeah, coming through vent, it's almost a guaranteed death, but you're just hoping to find what you can because his teammates fell before it. Envy's taking one more crack, but if you pay attention to the kill feed, the red color is Elevate, and they were all on the left side. So they're going to get clearance. Final 15 seconds go their way. The rotation was won by them. The hold was successful by them, and they'll have a nice little 40-second lead to boot over towards Gun. Envy, though, they have gone for a very wide spread, waiting for the rotation to come in. You got players already back here. Pharaoh's waiting for it. He gets traded out, but he's got the teammate support. Decimate just gets chopped down. The double challenge was enough. But at the same time, Envy was so spread on that early setup. They still have bodies in the hill, but they are surrounded.
Probably all by themselves now. And Envy spawning way, way out. There were a couple of players somewhat close to streaks, working on them. Not so much anymore. Profizi, I believe, is going to be the closest at 500 after the double kill, but Decimate launches out the nade. That will connect. Comes down to Skies trying to break through window. He's not going to have much luck with the ICR. You expect a close challenge to come through just like that. It's Hoop that flies in. Envy trying to come back into this game, down 19 points. If Pharaoh got streaks, that would be very, very helpful right about now.
Yeah, he's got the Tempest and a kill to potentially make that happen as well. Scrap time going with Envy, a very nice, honestly, back and forth, hill to hill to hill to hill.
I feel like he gets one more kill, and you just use that Tempest straight off the rip. I feel like your hand is almost forced, in a sense, to just really try and play for those streaks, because you're going to...
Oh, wow. I didn't even look like he missed. Whalers is just on a different planet.
He's, yeah, different universe, it feels like after that. Wow.
14-8, too. He's taking full advantage.
Great stuff from him, so forget the theory about streaks. It doesn't even matter. Elevate once again in the lead. Envy flying to the hill. Brezzy finds himself too. Aches and Silly both go down. War Machine is available if he wants to just try and fly it out. The door has to remain open for the nade to have any impact, which I believe it did. Brezzy still just controlling top window, finding so many kills. So 3 streak, it's now 4. Hell, he could even find 5 and 6. They're both lining up for him. Brezzy on a rampage right now for Elevate. But after all of the first hill, or first rotation, Elevate don't really have that big of a lead to show for it.
And Envy's in lobby as well. I know this not because I have Codcaster in a minimap, but because Profizi is letting everyone in the venue know. There's no confusion about where these players are. The callouts are crystal clear. And honestly, loud enough that it goes beyond language barriers. Profizi, though, he does eventually get taken down. Brezzy has invested the War Machine for a handful of hit markers that makes the players a little bit easier to kill. But War Machine effectively gets you nothing. Envy, well, we've seen like 8 lead exchanges. They're trying to force just one more.
That's a great break. That is a fantastic one. But now, not only do you worry about the hill, but you have to lock down that second hill. That rotation in the first was a little scrappy. Hook will invest the Grab Slam straight after rip. So chances are, if this is a close game, he will earn another one. And he was able to find a double. Whalers is 1 away from Vision Pulse. He's not going to earn it there. Beautiful hold from Envy. They go back into the lead. Very similar to the first hard point. Until, of course, Envy pulled away with it. Profizi's just waiting so patiently with that slam. And Elevate do have spawns as well. This is by no means easy to break for Envy, and that late rotation may cost him.
You got the team shots coming in from Elevate right now. You got Ruiz and Whalers. We're trying to lock down the back with a couple ARs. Even got Skies also in the back. They are fighting very hard for the back control. Inside the hill, Profizi's leading the charge. He's able to pick up a couple kills. Envy's trying to hit this from all angles. Eventually, Profizi gets dropped. And Envy, honestly, you know, job done. You take care of Skies, you get the back spawns. 35 seconds left. You break through the hill. What more could you ask for?
That was comical. There from Aches. Either way, Silly getting close to streaks. You ask, what more can you ask for? Well, streaks. Be beautiful for the next rotation. You have 20 seconds before you really need to worry about it. I think Silly almost felt the pressure there to really try and secure the streaks. 3 players from Elevate hit Old Hill, and if you're Pharaoh, you might just want to scramble away, just give it to him. Try and force the one fight at the back of the map, and here it is. It's Whalers. He's put himself in a pretty off position, not one you would expect. I don't think Envy are going to expect anyone to be back here. Now, the importance of this is he's actually going to block the Envy spawn. If Envy fall, they're not going to spawn in unless he's hunted down quick enough. But now the problem is there's also one more player here. It's Ruiz, but Hook sniffs him out as well. However, still players spawning at the back, though. Whalers are still spawning.
I don't know. Whalers lock down those spawns so hard that he will get there multiple times. Hugh probably confused telling his teammates, but of course, he's 250 off. So if they keep spawning in the back, they're just trying to feed Hook, honestly. He's happy to get these kills. Trade comes in. Hook had a little bit of help, stays alive, 150 off, and Envy still has a 20-point lead. That might diminish on this hill. Just the streaks will just be massive.
Yeah, just get the streaks. That's all you need to do here. You're Hook, but he's not going to get it. Brezzy with a double. Still Profizi sat in that grab slam, by the way. Whalers with the triple. 12 seconds left in the hill. Elevate about to go back into the lead, and Brezzy could be first to the party. Bear in mind, he's 3-10 away from streaks of his own, has a nade, could get close to a War Machine, and Vision Pulse has been popped, and he's not going to get the streaks either. So many opportunities this series, but he does get the double with the nade.
Yeah, he gets 2 kills, and obviously the Vision Pulse should be an indication to give you clearance towards the hill. Pharaoh, though, able to pick up 2, but obviously Elevate did a lot to force it through towards this side. Perfeezy finds 1 kill, knows that they're going to be flanking, shooting at Ghost, but that's just because he's ahead of the game, knows where they are, somehow only connects with 1. And you see Decimate, the War Machine, trying to break through. A ton of specialists being invested. You see Decimate only able to take down 2 along the way. Elevate inside for the 18th lead exchange we've had.
The saving grace here is Emmy do have favorable spawns for the new hill, and Hook just popped the double inside the hill. So they should break through. Can they hold? The spawns are the absolute most important thing here because you fought for 15 seconds. You cannot lose them. Decimate and Pharaoh are essentially now in a 2 versus 4 as Elevate flood forward. They have so much work to do. The stun's going to come out. Decimate falls. Now it's all down to Pharaoh. He's going to drop as well. The reinforcements are coming. Silly and Aix. Silly with the double. Aix found 1. I can't believe it. Envy somehow hold on to the rotation.
Oh, it's the stun fight, and Silly responds in con. Keep in mind, Hook, he is using on that grab slam. Reggie's got a War Machine. He got a lot of things at play. Envy can get a ton of time on this hill. The War Machine trying to force him out, which it does for the moment. Whalers gets found. He got the streaks, and he still got the grab. This player falls. He's going to pull the trigger. He does. Finds 2. Gets the streaks back in the hill. And the War Machine for Elevate already used. To get back inside, you have to do it with the guns.
You can't win here. Bear that in mind. You will at least see 1 more rotation. Elevate will need to play perfect Call of Duty. There is still 2 streaks available for Hook. And now the question is, when do you opt to use them, and how are you going to use them?
This is very reminiscent of the game Envy had against the Hunter.
I knew you were going to bring
They
it up.
are in a fantastic spot, though. The Lightning Strike finds 1 that makes it so much easier. Skies gets taken down as well. Perfeezy's in the hill. He's got to stay alive forever. It lasts less than a second. Vision Pulse comes in. Doesn't even matter. Envy and hardpoints are looking good against Elevate. And I don't want to say it. I'll just give him the credit so we can be positive for a moment. They played well. And they're forcing the game 5 then.
Great way to forget about games 2 and 3. That's for sure. Shock horror. Who would have thought? We're casting another game 5. Second of the day, 2 games in. The problem is it feels like the writing is already on the wall for this search and destroy. Coming into this series, Team Envious was 0-7 in recent time. In Search and Destroy, it's now 1 extra loss after game 2. As said, the perfect way for Envy to go into Anaheim would be a game 5 Search and Destroy win. It would give them so much confidence. There's now a chance that maybe that could become true. We'll be right back after this. game. Game 5, Chance. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yeah, you scared me. I was not prepared for that at all.
Envy, Elevate. Game 5 search. You already know at this point, Envy search and destroy, terrible.
Yep.
Elevate, we said just win one respawn. They did that in control comfortably. Now they find themselves in a Hacienda search and destroy, but here's the twist in the tail, the plot twist, Chance. Envy is gonna win this game 5 search and destroy. They're gonna get all the momentum into Anaheim, and they're gonna finish top 3.
Or Elevate smokes them like 6-1. The woes continue. They get completely in their heads, and they're like, boys, we can't win search. Pharaoh and Decimate just can't sleep at night because they're like, this has never happened before. And what do you do after that?
I prefer my way.
I mean, yeah, no, either way. But I think if
well, one of those two is probably going to come true. Maybe not top 3.
Actually,
a vast exaggeration.
What?
You never know.
That's a genuine question.
What?
For Pharaoh and Decimate as individuals, what is the most S&Ds they have in the past 5 years ever lost in a row? Because
I wouldn't say more than 5.
5 seems high.
Yeah, it sure does. And up step this squad. Right here. Round 1 already underway, and it looks like Elevate's trying to get the bomb down. They've done it successfully. There's a pinch coming from Hook from corridor. Meanwhile, Decimate slid forward. They still haven't found a pick, and Brezzy, after all the commotion, finds first blood on Hook. Advantage, big one to Elevate.
Advantage, big one, of course. Time ticking down. 30 seconds, not a ton of time. Envy trying to force it through. Pharaoh finds 2. Emery's forced to back down, but Brezzy going on the flank. He sees everyone, including many of the bomb, but the read is there. Envy have killed everyone in sight. Whalers, last man standing. I don't think they know where he is, but if they didn't before, they know now. Decimate with the read. Him and Pharaoh. It's been a struggle in the past for Envy, so they do it themselves. Pharaoh kills 3 and defuses the bomb. Decimate kills 2. Say, boys in blue, we got this.
Same start as last time, though.
For a single round.
Yep. Envy win the first round. Here's how Pharaoh found the third. Looks back over towards mid-map, and there was the flank. One shot, so on a plate for him, but he'll take it, that's for sure. Hot start for him.
I was saying, we've been talking about vibes quite a bit for this team, and there, I'm pretty sure that's them screaming, let's go on stage. Pharaoh's like smiling, feeling good, and that is a positive sign.
All good after you win 1 round.
Yeah. Okay, not much. We can beat the dead horse all we want. I'm just,
trying to put a positive spin. I respect it, Chance. I respect it. But round 2 now underway. It's Envy's turn to try and attack, and they've spread the map now, actually funneling over towards corridor. Do they want to hit B here, or is it maybe push through office, flank over towards A? Nope. The B hit is what we're going to see, and Profizi sniffed it out already.
Yeah, and you can see the nade coming in from Whalers, connects with Flakjack. You die by enough nades in a series, just people start putting it on. Aches, by the way, Envy, the starters of the frag grenade cause. Aches gets that first blood. Decimate, he's just baiting out ammo. He's got Huke to work on the pinch, and Brezzy just gets taken off the map systematically. Envy is taking them down. Profizi gets traded. Whalers gets gunned 2 rounds in a row.
And small thing, but that's what you expect to see out of a player like Decimate, right?
Perfect.
Just absolute perfect round from him. Just baits out so hard and basically says, Hook, free kill for you here, brother, because you know who's going to be fast.
And honestly, one of the, I don't want to say crazy, but one of the crazier things is there's a lot of first bloods that kept coming in on Gridlock just from the frag grenades. It was the first nade connects, the guy that was near the bomb, he had flak jacket on. It's a small thing, but it is a difference maker, because I think maybe not this year more than others, but first bloods are very often the biggest key to success to win the rounds.
Okay. First blood. You wanted it with a nade?
Well,
you were just talking about it. Profizi finds Hook. Where my Pharaoh is working on streaks. He's had a great game thus far at 4-0. He's 250 away. Looking for any pick he can. The stun comes through. A nade gets thrown out. And there's another nade kill. Aches drop 3v5.
Okay. So I'm not saying a key to success. And I think this is honestly, I think Elevate is probably one of the better teams, or at least as of recent, that's been showing off the nade skills, but Flak Jacket could go a long way.
Sure can.
I mean, you definitely have to do some class readjustments, and there's definitely players that don't have room for it, but good God.
Should be good to be over. And that was the key fight to win. Emery's kills Pharaoh. Decimate didn't really matter, but it was Pharaoh who was 250 away from streaks, and Emery's was hunting him down. He did such a good job to find the kill, stop the streaks, win that first round, stop the momentum.
And it really is a well put together team from Elevate as well. At least in terms of like the map knowledge, right? Because that frag grenade, you have to time that perfectly to catch Huke as he's like coming in. It's not like you're just placing on it. Like the cluster grenade, you just place it back fences. ICR players go there all the time.
Right.
He's obviously been shooting. You know what to do. And by the way, the stun was perfect to hit him to slow down so you can't run away. So well coordinated on the second set, well researched on the first. And it's those details that can go a long way. Elevate, at least for that round, good utilization.
Envy back on the attack. Seems exactly the same start as what we had in their last round, only this time they choose not to funnel into B. Maybe push through over towards office. Emery's is going to have a big job. I think based off his movement there, he may have got a call out from his teammate. There is team support there, but Skies could be in trouble here with the ICR.
Oh, he's doing a lot of damage, but not a lot of kills. He spotted out a handful of players from Envy who are going for a very quick move over towards A. I imagine you might think about the wall bangs, but the nade is going to stop the player that can think about it. So use the nade, you get the bomb down. You got yourselves a 5v5 for the moment.
Luke was one-shot fences. Unfortunately, Skies couldn't assist there with the shots that went down. Still looking to target Hook, and well, he falls for first blood. 29 seconds, though, if you're Elevate. Now you have to act quickly. As one player slides through, doesn't find the first kill, but there's more Elevate players there. Decimate was weak as he went for the read chow. And I said, what, 25 seconds? It took him about 6.
Well then, with speed like that, got a Wally Walton on the team. I think that's the Flash's name. The Flash has a couple names. I think one is Barry, the other is Wally.
Good to know.
Either way, you saw the success. It is 3 men coming through connector. The first is pure and utter bait. The second is the godless killing machine that was M. Ruiz that round, who tops it off, of course, getting the defuse. So
step closer to streaks.
A bunch of points go his way, and that's a well-calculated round by Envy to get the bomb down. Q gets double challenged, and the trades are very fast.
And let's not forget, it was Emery's himself 2 rounds ago. It shut down Pharaoh at the back of the map to deny Pharaoh streaks. Now he's 1 step closer. I want to say 250 or 230 away. I mean, if you give him bomb, you'd be pretty much set. Not going to be the case, though. He wants to just play for the kills.
1 step closer to the edge, and Emery's is about to break. Get over that score streak hump. Bomb getting down. I hear potential wall bangs coming in, and well, you try to wall bang. You get taken down by a nade, and that's like backed in almost. That placement is obscene. Now M. Ruiz is finding more kills. The bomb is down, a 5v3, a man working on streaks.
One more. Good double chow, but it was a 1-for-1. Brezzy does fall. And Ruiz might need some help. He still hasn't found the EKA, but there's a player close left. He should be able to read it. Oh, he went for the shot punch and fell moments before. He can be happy they win the round and it's 3 in a row, but he would have loved to secure those streaks that round.
And just if you're keeping score at home, we've had a cluster nade kill, 2 separate frag kills from the side of Elevate. And I think that's it, right? We've had 3 so far.
1 from Envy as well.
And so Aches had the one on Envy. And I'm just saying from Elevate's perspective, because I'm running with the theme that Elevate is just incredibly well coordinated with their nades.
And stuns too.
And they just keep finding them. And again, I think that one on Aches, like, he wasn't even like on the fence line. I was expecting to be the fence line spot. It seemed like he was deeper than that. Yeah, so Elevate, calculated approach on Hacienda. Aggressive, though, this time up towards the iron defense. You see the nade is there, but it's just a super small difference maker. Maybe luck is just on Perfeezy's side for that one. And, of course, the backup with Skies. If Skies takes down 2, Perfeezy doesn't get that final trade. But, hey, Skies did his job. You got that man advantage.
Done well to escape, but here comes the super flank from Hook. He's been sniffed out, though, forced to reevaluate the situation. It's a 4v3. Big advantage to Elevate. This could be 4 rounds in a row now. Of course, Envy will need to try and plant the bomb at some point. Decimate wants to try and push forward, but there's a stack of players over towards Tin. You've got to be careful. Hoop now going for the reflank. Is Elevate expecting it, though? He's going to have to be careful. Did they see him? Well, they didn't see the first. Hoop could find 2 for Feezy. Tell you what, that's an important kill to get because now the trades should just go their way. 1v2, all down to Aches.
They were going everywhere to look for Aches. I think they have a general idea that he's back towards their original spawn.
Oh, don't know about that. Pushing ICR through the connector.
Yeah, nothing he can really do. Whaler's just going to watch over top, put some shots down. He's weak. Perfeezy for the trade. 8 S&D losses in a row, and if Elevate has anything to say, they're going to push Envy to good old number 9.
It started so well.
There was, yeah, 2 good rounds in a row.
2 really good rounds.
2 great rounds. And then Elevate, again, just all over the place.
It's 4 in a row now for Elevate. Stop the bleeding. This round, massive for Envy. If they want a chance of winning the game 5, this is a must-win round. They're on defense. And looks as if it's going to be an A push from Elevate. Sniper out now for Pharaoh. You want someone to make a difference. It's going to be him. They don't get first blooded by the nade, so that's good, I guess.
That's one of the first dodges it seems like they've had in quite some time. Not trying to get the bomb down just yet, because obviously you got players like Aches and Fair who are nearby, maybe for some wall bangs, but as you say that, bomb is getting planted actually off to the side, I think, to avoid the wall bangs coming in, which Aches was going for. The bomb down, 5v5.
Plenty of time. Who draws first blood? Nice entry from him, and he's already through past the site. It's going to force Elevate to scramble away. The problem, no one from Elevate has bomb check. This is brave from Pharaoh. It's incredible from Pharaoh, and it's a defuse from Pharaoh. Simple stuff. As soon as Hook gets through connector, all of Elevate's plan is shot. Hook making the big plays allows Pharaoh to just hop the bomb.
Yeah, and I'll be like, okay, if I see Hook in the kill feed, I'm terrified. And I'll do everything I can to run the other way, but if you get the bomb down and all 4 of y'all run to well, that's not a difficult play call for Pharaoh to make. That's instantaneous. You just said they're all there. It's like, oh, okay. They already threw their nade earlier on. Maybe they have another one, but I'll risk it. That's a strange decision out of Elevate. It's not easy to force the gunfights, but wasn't much of a better option.
Feels like a gift for Envy. Back into the game. 4-3 now for Feezy. Got to be careful. No one in a position to push him, though, so he's fine for now.
Cuke saw him.
I think Whaler saw him as well, though, so information for both teams. Well, they definitely saw him, and yeah, I can hear Hook calling him out. Whalers is also working towards streaks. Now, he's not going to get his nade here. Would have been just phenomenal. One shot, 275 away. Decimate has a cluster, and he's going to have to use it here. That was a good one. It's going to force players forward. Sky's also falls. There's still going to be damage on everyone from Elevate as they try and flit forward. 3v3, 3v2. Silly tagged up by his own team, it felt like there. Whalers in no man's land. Great round from Envy. They forced the 3 versus 1. Rezi doesn't really have much hope in this one, so Envy will tie things up 4-4.
This has been seemingly the most equipment-laden game we've had of like search and destroy. Like this feels very close to like classic COD. Almost. Definitely not quite. Not as bad as like World War II, but like this round, it was stuns obviously coming in to force Envy back, but it was the cluster nade originally from Decimate that just stuffed it. It was like he was getting the pressure put on, but he just gets that one nade off, and it's just little things like that that seem to be making big changes in the rounds. Other than the rounds where he gets first blood, and they're like, oh, there's 4 of them alive, hop bomb, and we're good.
Well, now the pressure essentially back on Elevate. As Envy have won 2 in a row. This round will put you in great status. Pharaoh misses the first snipe. Looks for the jump snipe. No one home. Let's have a teammate, though, already in connector, so Elevate might be in trouble here, or maybe not. First couple of kills in their favor. 3v5. Envy looking for any pick they can get. But keep your eye on number 5 on the menu. That's Whalers. He went for a deep swim. Big flank over towards B. Calls out, guys, you're safe. He's put himself in a position now where if Pharaoh isn't careful and doesn't check his left, Whalers has the entire cross just like that. Take your time. You don't even need to pull the trigger. 4v2. Envy about to go down a match point.
And Rosie's got the information as well. Aches, though, does pick up one on Whalers, and Silly all of a sudden finds another kill.
20 of streaks.
Just like that, 2v2. Silly, if the bomb gets down and they get the kills, he's good. Aches is going to be the man to check first. They're playing it for where they can get kills, so they got to move, but Silly gets shut down. Aches gets hunted down. You are in a terrible spot that turns into an incredible spot for Skies to say no me gusta. Just shuts him down. Tough gunfight, 33 health, and then poor Aches just like
Game plan was right.
Just like
let Silly bait for, let Aches bait for Silly, get the streaks. Skies just pulls a miracle double out of his magic hat. Now, match point, Elevate. Will the search woes continue for Envy, or have they got something left in the tank to send it to another round 11?
And it's kind of crazy as well. Silly might actually be able to get the...
Well, here's the nade. You wanted to see how it looks.
Right on top of Aches, but
no!
Aches, whatever it was that stopped it, the trophy.
I think it hit the wooden thing right in front of him and bounced back out, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, nade's no good.
And Silly might get TAC 5. Just in the back of your mind, if he gets one killer EKIA, it should come in. If you can decimate, though, putting in work, this is a round for Envy, and honestly, you need to find Silly this kill. There he is. Whalers is mid-map. Silly, just go hunt him down, get your teammates to help you out.
He's looking for it.
And Silly knows the game plan. Got to go fast.
It's not the end of the world, even if he dies here either, because he will have a chance, of course, of getting it next round. But I think Whalers recognizes it too. Easy to track. Get off the map as quickly as you possibly can. Envy force round 11. Silly, all he needs now is a pick. That is it.
So we had a Game 5, Round 11 for E6, where the main storyline was they have been having a ton of struggles in the Game 5s. We saw what happened. Bans just ruined their dreams of clutching up. Now we have a storyline of Envy and Search and Destroy in general. It's been terrible. 0-8, potentially 0-9. Now it comes down to a Game 5, Round 11.
2 Game 5, Round 11s today for us. Absolutely love to see it. Let's hope it keeps rolling over towards Anaheim. We'll see, but Round 11 underway. Now, again, Silly is huge here for Team Envious. It is Elevate on attack. The nade off the rip, no good. Envy's really big win condition does come from Silly here. Bombs down though, and Elevate have got away, and that's a big first blood. Pharaoh goes down. Whalers finds the pick.
Yeah, Whalers just playing these off angles. Pharaoh can't get the read. It's tough to make, but 5v3. Aches is gonna fall. Another nade. They gotta go big, Ben.
You're going to push through connector. Good luck. Have fun. Silly maybe the last one there, but both players fall. Silly, it doesn't even matter if you get your TAC 5. You're all by yourself. Elevate. Clutch up in the last round of the series. And Envy search woes continue, as many would have expected. They were so close, yet so far to that first search win. And what has been a miserable run of form. And for Elevate, a big confidence boost for them.
And they're a super interesting team because they are, I think, very tough to peg down on exactly where they fall in the power rankings of the league that we have as a whole. They get a couple weeks, well, a week essentially, to review the gameplay, work on their small mistakes because they have had a ton of close matches against pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Everywhere across the board, they've been playing tight with, one potential exception of 100 Thieves. But, bygones be bygones. But they're a team, again, that I could see falling just about anywhere in those final standings post-Anaheim.
They have a really big upset potential.
Yes, I don't even know. I mean, certain teams, it's upset potential, but some teams, they just might be better than, right? Like,
that's fair.
They're just in a very interesting situation. And there's so many teams that are just, they're all over the place, man. Anaheim's going to be a good time.
Loving the utility as well in their search and destroy.
All over the place.
Massive.
Like 5 nade kills.
Yeah, beautiful. You'd love to see it from Elevate, that's for sure. Envy on the flip side, not so much. But that's everything from myself and Chance for the day. Send it back over to the desk.
Thank you, Ben. And there you have it. Elevate end their losing streak this week to get a win over Envy. And you know what? Elevate get the win, and Envy wins with EG for 0-9s in S&Ds. They're now tied for the longest losing streak in S&Ds in Pro League this season.
I'm at a loss for words.
So am I.
Like, it sounds like we keep saying the same thing about them. It's because they have changed nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Their search is absolutely horrendous. Like, how's that? But you get to a 5-5, somebody dies in solo flank, you get naded, and you try to triple hit connector. It's simply unacceptable for a team of this caliber to be losing search and destroys like that. You have such gifted players, such veteran players on your team. How does this keep happening?
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't understand either. They gave up a free plan 5-5. I've never agreed with just giving up bomb, first of all. Free plan's given up, and then the flanker, which is Pharaoh, your job is to go after the engagement happens. You have to wait for things to happen. You cannot be the first. You're not the initiator of a retake in this situation. So watch 6 on your minimap. He cuts his flank short too. If you're gonna be the first person to flank, you have to go all the way around.
Take your complete time.
Take your time. You're important. You're the backbone of the retake. Because once he knows that no one's on the flank, he can now leave it, come back up, and help his teammates. Of course, it didn't matter because Envy tried to triple hit connector, which is the tiniest doorway.
They just gave up. So simple rule of thumb for everybody at home wondering why that's a bad play. When you're flanking, your job is to either 1, catch a guy off guard, 2, take your time, get in a gunfight, and devote some of the players on the other team to focus you. Once they decide to turn around and focus you, your team can collapse and force a retake. That is a general rule in Call of Duty, and Envy is 5-5. You would think they would have the composure with the players that they have to orchestrate that, but instead he just jumps out, dies to one of the most common spots in the game, by the way. When people watch flank, we see people sit at that tree because you can see everything from right there. So the bomb gets planted, he just kind of is obviously not calm. The comms are going crazy, and he goes, I need to flank really fast. It's not going to.
Also, he didn't have to flank really fast. He had the full bomb timer, and
mind,
if he gets 1 kill that round, he's done his job, because like Ann said, they all have to turn around and focus him. Chance said something during his broadcast. He said, I wonder if Pharaoh, Decimate, and these guys have ever lost 9 search and destroys in a row or whatever. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, I guarantee if you put them in 9 search and destroy tournaments in a row online, they'd win one. This streak right now from them is absurd. It's ridiculous.
The fact they won 2 hard points throughout that series, but like I said, just the aggression on the side of Elevate. Once it went to that frequency control, they simply stood no chance. Their pacing is just so off with this team, and Elevate was just so aggressive. They dominated that game 3, and especially winning that second S&D, 0-8 at that point, going into game 5. I knew it was going to go 0-9. They just don't have the ice in their veins, and it's truly sad to see.
Well, that was the one map in the series, the frequency control, where we look at the respawns and we're like, Elevate's a solid respawn team. Like, there's no way that they're going to lose 3 respawns to a team that's been struggling to close out series. So I'm like, frequency control, that's a map where I would favor Elevate. So when Envy started off the series with that first map, I'm like, okay, if they just have to take a search. They win one search, they'll be okay. Fortunately, they lose back-to-back. It's got to be their #1 focal point. I can't see them even getting top 8 until they start to figure out some search.
You think there's any chance then that maybe they're just awful at Pro League and we see another surprise performance from them at a tournament?
There's no way.
I mean,
confidence after this weekend, after their 2 weeks here, going 0-9 into an event like Anaheim, there's no way they're going to be able to place top 8 without being able to win those S&Ds. They won a lot of Game 5s at London to get 4th place. So if they're going from here to Anaheim with the 0-9 record, it's definitely going to be lingering in the back of their mind.
We have to give props, though, to Elevate, though. Great showing. I mean, they ended that win streak. I think they're, 4-3 for the total of 2 weeks. So I think they've got to be happy with that showing, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've had players kind of rise up to be all-stars in Skies and in Brezzy. Brezzy didn't have as crazy of a week as he did last week, but, I mean, he still played fine, so that's fantastic. And, you know, they are starting to win search and destroys. They're getting better at that, which is something they weren't as good at last week. So they're making some gradual improvement. And obviously versus the top teams in the world, United and 100 Thieves, they're going to struggle. But at least they're setting themselves apart from some of the lesser teams.
That is true. Let's pull up our schedule. Halfway done with the day, because coming up, we've got United and Heretics, and then 100 Thieves and Splice to close things out. But that series was just not, I think, how Envy was expecting it to go. Of course, falling to Elevate there 3-2, still continuing to go 0-9 in their search and destroys, which is just obviously not the way they wanted to end the week, not the way they wanted to end 2 weeks, and not the way they wanted to start going into Anaheim. So we'll see if they can pick that up. Denial was, of course, the other team today that has gotten a win 3-2 over E6. But coming up, we're going to be talking about Heretics versus United.